Hello, this is Level With Me. This is my show where I play games and talk about what I think is going on in the level design. And right now we are in Thief. We are on the second to last mission of Thief specifically. Thief 1, that is, not Thief with like a 4 in it. We are on the mission called Strange Bedfellows, and this is the second to last mission of the entire Thief 1 campaign. Let's load that up and watch the briefing a little bit. So, to catch you up on what's happened in the game so far, we've accidentally awakened like a nature chaos god who's now like destroying the entire city and stuff. And now we have to go visit our former allies, which is like a weird industrial Catholic church called the Hammerites. We have to go ask them for help to defeat the evil trickster nature god.
This was not the way things were supposed to go. Constantine has the eye, and my eye, and I doubt he has anything wholesome planned for it. The trickster is real after all. I don't think anyone but those crazy hammers really believed in the old gods. Those crazy
Oh, did I say
hammers,
former allies? Yeah, I meant former
it wouldn't
enemies.
hurt to have
Sorry.
a few dozen heavily armed fanatics on my side just about now. If I drop by their temple and explain things, maybe they'll be so distracted by the trickster's return that they'll forget to hold a grudge.
So,
Even if they don't,
similar to the mission before,
I know
which
how
was
to get
called
out of
Escape,
Crab's cleft prison
that
already.
was like a reuse of a mission called The Sword that we had played before, except they modified a lot of level geometry. This one is also kind of a remodeling of a previous mission that we played called Undercover, where we had to sneak into this industrial Catholic Church Inquisitor temple. Now we have to sneak back into it again and beg them for help against the evil god. So let's see what happens. We are right here. I'm gonna get some health potions because I tend to screw up a lot and get in a lot of fights with enemies. Even though this is a sneaky, stealthy game, I'm not the best at that. So I'm just gonna get a health potion or two. Rope arrows, I don't remember being very helpful for this mission, so I don't think I'm gonna get any. I don't think I'm gonna have a use for them, really. Moss arrows, I think, are kind of useful if I remember correctly. It would be good to get some of this gas stuff, but oh well. I think I have plenty of water arrows. Maybe I should just get another healing potion just for when I screw up inevitably. Okay, yeah, let's start. So again, if this is the first time joining us, welcome. Just know that in my stream, I have turned up the screen gamma a lot so that you can see it pretty easily. But if you're playing this at home, you should probably turn the screen gamma a lot lower so that would feel more moody and dark. So now we're walking around and this doesn't seem right. There's like a dead person with flies like swarming around them. Okay, that's not good. Let's keep going.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Uh-oh, there's some dead guards here as well. Uh-oh. Oh geez. A lot of dead people everywhere.
What happened here? And where are all the Hammerites?
What happened here? That's like literally like the environmental storytelling talk question. So in this mission, well, let's kind of return back to this pivotal moment. So we're expecting that the mission sets us up that we have to sneak back into this Hammerite temple. But now that we're coming back here, we're seeing that the temple is in ruins and a bunch of people are dead, and presumably all the Hammerites in there are dead as well. So this mission is not turning out the way it seemed it was gonna be. It's really important that you go here and pick up the arrows here, because there's 15 broadhead arrows. We don't get any broadhead arrows in the store interface before, so this is where you get all your broadheads. Broadheads are pretty important in this level because we're going to be using them to kill some of the weird monsters. And it turns out there's going to be a lot of weird monsters, because as soon as you step in right here, you can already hear some of the monster sounds we've been hearing in the previous missions. Like a weird sound, like... Oh, God. Smacking lips has to be one of the creepiest things you can do. Now, as we go over here, we see there's a lot of blood, a lot of dead people. What happened here? But it's also good to come in here because you want to collect all the supplies that are in here. So, I think I got all the arrows in here. Right? Yeah, I think I got all the arrows in here. What's kind of neat about coming back to this is that when we previously visited this location, some of these locations were blocked off. Like previously when we went into this room, this was a Hammerite barracks where we were not allowed to go inside the room, and the guards were telling us to leave or they would attack us. But now we can walk around as much as we want inside this room. Who's laughing now, punk? Does this still work? No, that doesn't. It's kind of cool that they left the buttons and levers in here even though they don't work anymore. That's a nice touch. I wonder if the alarm still works. Nope. We should come in here and collect more arrows. Is that all the arrows? Oh no, here's some more arrows. I think I did an okay job collecting all the supplies I can here. Okay, let's keep going. And I talked about in the last week about how doing this kind of mission is always kind of risky because on one hand, it helps a lot to reuse the same level geometry between one mission to another. But on the other hand, it makes any change to the previous pristine mission really expensive. Because that means now if you like change a room, you have to synchronize how those two versions and reconcile them. So that means that you have to finish the first mission, building that first mission and designing it and everything before tackling the second mission. And anytime you're blocking your workflow or production like that on the game, it's always kind of risky to do that. Okay, let's keep going in here. Walk in. We immediately see a creepy like mantis thing walk. Damn. And that's kind
Looks
of great.
Like Constantine.
Like I kind of love that moment. Like the silhouette against the brightly lit wall just worked really, really well to set the tone for what's happened here. Let's just sneak over into here. Maybe we won't bug that bug beast. I think most players would have gone this way because they wouldn't have wanted to go into that big room because that big room just doesn't feel very safe or conducive to sneaking around. And Thief, up until now, has taught us that we should usually go the side route, so that's what we're doing. Also, our objective, if you remember, was that we have to go find the Hammerite High Priest, because that's who we're going to ask about, like, helping us and stuff. So this is where previous knowledge from the previous mission affects how we play this mission, because we still remember the layout, kind of, and we still remember that the easier way to get to the High Priest isn't through that main room, it's to go around and jump down from this balcony into the garden, and I'm gonna go walk into the sparring room and then try to find the High Priest here. So I've played this mission before, and I know that's not the best way to play this mission, but... Oh, shit. A lot of guards down there almost saw me. Oh shit. There's a frog. We met the frog in a previous mission. Oh shit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They saw me. They saw me. Uh-oh. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, not doing the best job of sneaking, because I think when I shot that frog and the frog exploded, those are exploding kamikaze frogs, by the way. That's why they're kind of dangerous. Ooh. I guess the guards heard me and then they came after me. Fortunately, these guards aren't too difficult to fight. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, I think he went inside the other room. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. How's he always... I think that happened last time. I think I just walk in at exactly the wrong time. Okay, let's try to sword fight this guy. They die only to 2 sword swings, so even if you get caught by them, it's not really the worst thing. And we learned that because in the previous mission, we had to kill like 10 of these dudes. Oh, let's talk about the level design here a little bit. So up there you see a hole. That hole doesn't really feel like it actually matches the architecture, but... Is there a spider here? But, you know, I guess we'll let it go. But it's always fun to build these kinds of holes, especially in this era of level design. Because usually when you're building levels, it looks like this. Just like blocky, cube, boxy shapes. It's always kind of boring to play. But here, we have all this fun stuff going on. Oh, could I have entered from this side? It looks like the wall was low enough to mantle. Oh yeah, I could have entered maybe from here as well. Oh well. Anyway, let's keep continuing with this mission. So again, my objective, I'm gonna go see where the High Priest is. Or if the High Priest is dead, he's probably dead there, then maybe I can go do something about that. Hear a lot of spiders. It's oh my god. Oh my god, why isn't it dying? There we go. Okay. Now let's see where the High Priest is. So previously when we played this mission, the High Priest was staying around here. And looks like he's not here. I mean, I already knew that, but I think this is how most players would approach this mission first. But there's a helpful mine in here. I think, to me, I interpret that as the level designer being like, good job getting here, even though this was the wrong thing to do. So, and the mine is a pretty helpful, expensive thing to get. There's also a healing potion here, which is helpful too. as well as some books, but these books don't help us. They're just like Bibles or something. They don't really help. I mean, Bibles are super helpful, you know, in real life and all, but just maybe not right now. So if he's not down here, you might want to maybe investigate other areas. So from this point, I think most players would start looking in other places. But everything is just kind of empty, and most of these rooms you can see are kind of untouched, so you feel kind of cheated a little bit, like you're wasting your time. And that's because you are wasting your time. So let's just keep going on with the mission. I can hear that creepy bug beast up above me. I know from experience, I should actually just run for it. It's easier to just run here. Because our real objective here is to run into this big chapel. Previously, this big chapel was kind of useless. It was just this random place that you could have gone to, but there weren't any objectives here in the previous mission. But now it's finally revealed the true purpose of this cathedral chapel thing, which is to provide an entrance to the rest of this level for this second revisit here. So let's go down this mysterious ladder, and now begins the new part of the mission. How do I... Ladders and Thief are always just really scary. Just grab the fucking... Okay. Okay, that wasn't ideal, but it's okay. And now we're in this weird basement area. It's overgrown with like a lot of moss and nature elements. So this is signaling a very different domain from the from what we were looking at before, where it's a lot of stone and artificial, like man-made things. Here it's this kind of weird overgrown sewer or catacombs area. And already we see a lot of the dead Hammerites we were meant to talk to. That's not good. And here the level designer has given us a very clear line of sight into seeing all the guards patrolling in there as well. Good place to stand? I think so. Uh-oh, there's a guard coming this way. Wait, why didn't I hit him? Oh, shit. That didn't help. Oh shit, does he still see me? Yeah, he still sees me. Oh shit. Okay, this is not going well at all.
Man.
Hey, let's just run down here and ignore that happened. Oh crap, he's coming at me. Okay, that didn't go well. Let's just drink some healing potions and forget that happened. Did we kill all the guards? I think we killed everyone. Well, let's look at the scenery a little bit. Sounds like there's like a exploding frog near me, but I don't see it. So I guess it's okay. But anyway, here that's just a banner on fire. That's kind of silly, a little bit ridiculous. But just pay attention to the lighting here. It's pretty nice, where the cave construction is pretty good, especially by Thief standards. Usually, the cave construction isn't this, like, round here. So there's a certain attention to detail here that's pretty nice to this silhouette. All in all, the detail work down in this basement area is pretty nice. Like, there's a good attention to detail here. Oh, crap. Why didn't that work? Okay, there we go. Okay, I've just been screwing this up the whole time, sorry. Okay, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I feel like this this basement catacombs area, this overgrown basement catacombs area is pretty detailed, and there's some nice touches where it's mixing all this like mossy stone with these like golden icons everywhere too. So there's a nice color contrast here, I think, where we can see these two character factions or two like in-game like cultures, like kind of like literally at war with each other, where it's just like a very very political kind of image, I guess. But like made up politics, like video game politics, not like actual real world politics. Oh, and that statue fell on that guy. That sucks. Ouch. Well, let's keep going and exploring. So then we end up down here in this pretty big cave. Dead bodies everywhere. We can hear footsteps down there. And if you can look down there, you can see like a million monsters down there. We do not want to go into that pit. That pit is just bad news. But fortunately, we'll walk on this like kind of crucifix thing, which isn't bad news. And it looks kind of cool, actually. I like... This is a pretty interesting level design conceit structure they've had here, actually, where there's just this big pit. You don't often see big pits with stuff in them in games, actually. Usually when you see a big pit in a game, you're like kind of walking along the edges and like climbing all these ladders. It's kind of rare to have a giant crucifix in the middle of your big pit. So I guess we might have to head down there. But first, let's walk over here. Oh, this corpse is blocking my way. First, we might go this way and try to open this door, but it's locked. And if we try our lockpicks here, then our lockpicks don't work here. So this is a very hard level design gate here, where we can only progress if we get a key somehow. So let's keep going and maybe look for that key. I'm not gonna go this way because it looks like there's some flies here. Well, I guess I could go this way. You have to be careful about flies because flies will hurt you if you get too close. And I also don't want to walk too close to this edge right here. So I'm gonna go the other way because I think that seems safer. Oh god, a flickering torch. That's pretty rare. Most torches in Thief aren't flickering like that. That's a little bit strange. I didn't need to put out that torch, but I thought I just should because it was bothering me. And now we're descending to those beams, that crucifix we saw earlier. over that pit. But before we go in there, let's check out these really cool rooms. This is probably one of my favorite parts of this mission. Where each of these rooms is like a different element with a themed arrow and supply we can find in here. So this is like a mossy green nature room with some cool decoration. I should probably KO this dude. Maybe when he walks back, I'll run up and boot him. Okay, now we're safe. Let's continue the tour. So this fire room is pretty interesting. Again, Thief's use of faces to signature like weird occult elements like this. Up there we see the symbol of the Chaos God we've been looking at this for the past few missions. And here's a fire arrow, which is like a rocket in Thief, so it's pretty powerful, pretty useful. And now let's explore the other side. This way is just a dead end. I don't really know why this thing is here. It seems kind of pointless. And then over here we can see a bunch of other rooms. So this is a water-themed room that you can jump into. And it's kind of cool that water is a volume like this, that I can just jump up into water. Uh-oh. Do they hear me? This is kind of from an era of level design from the 90s. You can't really do level design like this anymore, because water in most of these games is usually a global setting or just like a flat plane, because water's gotten more sophisticated. It's rarely just like a cubic volume that you can literally just place in the game, which is a shame, because it's kind of cool when water's a volume, because you can do stuff like that, where you can just jump into like a, oh shit. Okay, I might just have to run. Okay, this is the gas room. It's pretty cool. There's a skybox up there. Okay, let's just keep running where he can't follow us. Pretty sure he can't follow us down these steps.
Ah, 'tis thee, the master thief.
And now we finally
There is
make
scant
contact
time to
with the
explain.
Hammerites.
The tricksters, foul beasts, have captured our high priest, and if we cannot retake him alive, all shall be lost. We lack thy skills of stealth and treachery, and our enemies must surely kill him should we make a bold attempt.
We're not a filthy scoundrel like you.
May the builder guide
So there's the key we needed. If you remember that locked door we encountered like 10 minutes ago. Oh, and then they ran over to fight some monsters, I guess. So now we can get the key. And now we can get this papyrus, which is giving us where we can go. So here we can, it's showing us a map of the maze. I don't know how these Hammerites managed to map it out, but this is the rest of the game that we have to follow now. Although we just came through here, I believe. So now we have to descend downwards into here, and we have to find the Hammerite High Priest, and then return the High Priest to these Hammerite dudes over here. And now they're our friends. Are those dudes still up here? No, I think they returned back to the pit. That's good. Okay, let's come back here and make our way back to that locked door. Oh, in the chat, Ruber Eagle Nest says, on Twitter, Robert said that Strange Bedfellows isn't a bad mission, but has some worthwhile parts. So does that mean it's considered bad or low for the Thief fandom? And I think the answer is that this is probably maybe in the bottom half or middle of most people's lists of favorite missions, I think, where it's very linear. Like, the path I've just taken is very one way. Like, there's not much deviation from the critical path I'm performing for you right now. Whereas if you played, like, the very first mission in Thief, Lord Bafford's, there's all these different ways for you to complete those objectives. Oh god, okay, their sounds are creeping me out. I'm gonna have to go through here. Also in the chat, people are saying, oh, the Star Wars game, Jedi Knight, you used to be able to use scripts on multiplayer servers, so you could, like, script things and do all kinds of stuff. That's cool. Huh. Okay, so now begins, maybe this is probably my personal favorite part of this mission. We're in this roundy hole right here, although I like the roundy hole that we're going to be entering later. But this roundy hole is one of my favorite parts of this mission because it just has all these different passageways, but still has a very clear pattern and flow to it. So we've just entered this way, but we can't progress counterclockwise. We have to go clockwise all the way around so that we can go to the lower section or to the dock here. So we have to go around the other way. So there's still like a prescribed flow to it, but there's still a lot of interesting connectivity going on, and you'll see what I mean by that. So first of all, there's like an outer ring and a sort of inner ring to this section. And then there's guards patrolling on each ring. So even though there's all this connectivity everywhere, you can still kind of predict where the guards are going to be going and plan ahead. Another cool part about this part of the level is that this is basically just a fancy toilet. If you can see on the stream, this is basically a little, like, crapper closet right here, built out of stone. This is the fanciest catacomb crapper I've ever seen. And now it's being patrolled by giant ape monsters, which makes sense, I guess? And just all the different angles, this is breaking so much with the 90-degree boxiness that I criticize a lot of levels for. But here we have all this roundedness and all this interconnectivity, all these different layers of patrols going back and forth, but still very predictable. Like, they mainly just stay on the ring of patrol they're going on. They don't, like, suddenly change layers or anything. I think my only critique maybe of this part is that it's pretty easy. Like, plentiful shadow everywhere. It's a little bit too easy, so then you can kind of, you end up missing a lot of the interesting layout stuff going on. Like, I can easily just hide here, wait for him to come around, and then turn around, just hiding in this little toilet hole. And then there's no intersecting patrols that'll like ever see me do that, so it's just kind of trivial to go through this part. This mission is actually pretty easy, I would say, in the grand scheme of things. But already we've totally made the little circle around, and if we kept going, we would see that's the little window we were looking at before. So it's a shame this encounter isn't more interesting, but the layout of it is so good. I wish they maybe lit it to make it feel a little bit more dangerous, because there's so much shadow, you don't even need to go into those little toilet nooks I was talking about. But, oh well, let's keep going.
This looks like it'd make a good escape route for me and the High Priest.
Here is kind of a weird addition. This is maybe the weirdest part of the level, to me, I think. Where there's like this weird raft, and we'll be able to use this raft to save the priest. You'll see that later. I believe in my research I was reading on like a wiki somewhere that there used to be a bug with this raft where if you save the priest and then put the priest on this raft, the priest would actually drown because he's technically too close to the water, and then you would fail the mission. But in Thief Gold, that has since been fixed, I believe. So now you can use the raft. But the mission is also kind of less interesting if you do use the raft. So I kind of question this level design decision. It feels a little bit strange to me. But I still like this scene. It's a very handsome raft room. And this stick is like a lever that I can pull to make the raft go. I'm not gonna pull it yet, or if I do, now the raft is gonna go without me, and that sucks. I just ruined it. Oh well. Oh well, I guess we're not using the raft. It's more interesting this way anyway. So now we're entering this section of the level where we're down here. We just came in from the river, and now we're gonna have to kind of snake our way around here like this. And it's kind of the same way here, where it's kind of the same thing here, where it's kind of a one-way flow, which on one hand is kind of interesting, but on the other hand, it means every player basically has to take the same route every time, which is annoying. But we're gonna have to go clockwise instead of counterclockwise, because instead of a physical wall, now there's too many guards. There's 2 or 3 guards facing this way, so I can't go through this passage. But if you see that little spot of red right there, you can see that's actually the High Priest's body. We need to get over there to pick up that body and save him. So let's sneak our way. This doesn't look safe. You can see it's not very shadowy, and I'm gonna have to traverse over this shadow in front of the guard. Hopefully he won't get upset. No, it's okay. Oh well. And this is just a cool part of the level, because you hear all the ape beasts doing all these footsteps, but it turns out they're not actually patrolling. They're just kind of shifting their weight side to side and like mimicking footsteps. And that's kind of brilliant. Like, we don't really know if we're going to be encountering patrols in the future, but like these idle animations for the ape beasts are just psyching us out a little bit. So there were a bunch of guards in that room. There's a bunch of guards in this room, it's easiest to just sneak past them and not bother KOing them. Because if I try to KO one, the other one will notice and then alert everyone. So actually can't alert them. But let's just keep going around. We can see over there, there's another door with a hammerite symbol there. That hammerite symbol is the way to the hammers. Very obvious symbolism right there, but let's keep going this way instead. There's a weird fly. There's a weird mantis warming itself in front of the fire. We can't walk forward to disturb that mantis because there's a bunch of flies buzzing. So instead we have to keep going. And there's just all these side rooms, interesting side rooms with other guards standing there watching the fire. And just notice the attention to detail here. This feels more like a fan mission than a vanilla thief mission in terms of how detailed all the catacombs and caves are. And all these just interesting angles going on here. So now we're back in the room. And then you see that big red thing is the high priest we have to go rescue. And because normally if you didn't send that raft away, it would be pretty easy to KO that guy, and then KO that guy, and then KO that one, and then put the priest on the raft, and then go meet the priest later and follow the raft. And that's a shortcut to finishing this mission, but I think it's much more interesting when you go backwards the way you came and do it without the raft. So now we have to sneak past them all over again, and now we're extra vulnerable, where I'm busy carrying a body. I can't even blackjack or fight anyone if they do see me. And I think this is just like peak thief, when you have to sneak past stuff feeling very vulnerable, but it's also this tension between feeling very powerful and safe because we know how to sneak past them and we feel smarter than them and all that. Just gonna dump his body there. The door's locked, but fortunately we have the key from before. And let's just go down here.
What's these?
I like these cavern walls too, again. Just when you play other thief missions, just note that the caves usually don't have these many sides. And the fact that they were like, this level designer was willing to like waste this many polygons on the sides of the cave just goes to show you kind of how closed this mission was, so that you could waste that many details. But where's my key? There we go. But it's also just nice to see that as well. And there we see the raft that could have helped us, but unfortunately I sent the raft away prematurely, so I wasn't able to use it. And over here we see the other side of the hammerite window. And we've completed the mission. So pretty short, pretty easy, pretty linear. So that's why I think most people wouldn't put this mission near the top of their lists. But like I said, I think the cylindrical parts where we're having to do this like around the clock kind of traversal method here, and all these different rooms and angles going into each other are just super interesting and do a different kind of thief gameplay than we've encountered in the previous missions. So, pretty easy mission. Some differences: if you're playing on expert mode and you accidentally kill one of those mantis bugs, you're going to get an additional objective where you have to kill all the mantis bugs, which is kind of annoying. And if you kill all the mantis bugs, I believe they're super loud when you kill them. So at that point, that alerts everyone around you, and then you have to fight all the guards who are alerted as well. So expert level is maybe more difficult here, but it's also easy to sneak past everyone, so it's not too big of a deal. Stats: this is one of the shortest thief missions of the entire game. This was only 39 minutes, and I was kind of stopping to take in the sights and look at stuff too. So if you were playing this for real, it'd probably only take you maybe 30 minutes on your first try, maybe. Very low loot count as well, because we're entering the final mission, so there's no point in collecting loot, because there's not going to be a loadout screen. And ended up killing a bunch of dudes, even though I said the mission was easy, but oh well, sorry. And let's get a preview for next week, I guess. Next week is going to be the very last mission of Thief 1. As he approached his triumph, our foe had made himself vulnerable. They're writing about me. They're writing about how they just... That's me. I'm the pridefully chosen pawn.
Well, this is it. The Hammers say they've received word that Constantine's descended into his realm to perform a ritual with the Eye.
Oh, now
The Hammers have built me
now
a
the
booby
90s
trap to
prog
counter
rock
the
is
Eye.
starting, yeah.
If I can swap it for the real thing, it should cause him some trouble. If he doesn't notice me. I've never robbed a god before. It'd be a challenge.
I've never robbed a god before. So this is going to be the last mission. I'm not going to get into it today because I don't think we have time for it. You're going to have to save it for next week, unfortunately. But here we see into the Maw of Chaos. This is going to be the final mission. This is Thief's equivalent of a boss fight. Boss fights in Thief have traditionally been a very mixed bag, especially for Thief 4, where there's a lot of weird boss fights and boss encounters. Thief's version of a boss fight is kind of interesting. It's more like a boss puzzle, if anything, because you're not really doing any fighting, ideally, right? So next week, we're going to have to descend into the Maw of Chaos, which is super interesting to walk through. It's not... I think it's okay to play, but it's not... Again, I wouldn't put this near the top of my missions, but it's very interesting to look at, so that's a treat for you at home watching this. And then once we find the evil trickster god, the Constantine, we have to swap the fake eye for the real eye next week. So kind of an Indiana Jones swappy thingy. And then we'll see what happens. So I'm just going to continue and save it out. And let that be a teaser for next week, I guess. In the meantime, thanks for joining me, and hope that was an interesting tour of Strange Bedfellows. Average mission, but some cool parts to it. Thanks for tuning in, and one announcement. GDC has a level design workshop track that has just opened up submissions. So if you make levels and you have something to say about making levels, then you should totally apply to this. Just check my Twitter for a link to it. You just fill out this form and submit it, and then these other people, I don't look at the submissions, but some other very fine people do that, and they'll look it up, and they'll look at your submission, and hopefully you'll get approved, and it'll be cool to like hang out at GDC if you wanted. So again, that's the level design workshop. 10 or 25 or 55-minute talks. You probably shouldn't do a 55-minute talk if it's your first talk ever. Shorter is probably better and easier. But they're very inclusive. You don't have to be like a AAA level designer to submit a proposal to this. They're okay with indies, they're okay with modders. Anyone with anything to say about level design, you're welcome to submit a proposal. And they really do want to showcase new voices and more diverse voices, and be more inclusive about that too. So if you've never given a GDC talk before, feel free to submit to this, and maybe this can be your first GDC talk. Just talk about any aspect of level design, and you're watching my stream, so that's already a good start into thinking and talking about level design, I guess. You don't have to do what I do. You can do your own thing. Anyway, that's just a quick announcement before I end today. Please submit to this level design workshop. It's a really great track with always really cool talks going on. Anyway, oh, someone's asking in the chat, did you see Brendan Chung's Skin Deep announcement? No, I've been streaming. I have not been looking at Twitter, so I have not seen Brendan Chung's announcement of his new game. But it sounds really cool. Is it an immersive sim? I have no idea. Well, I'm gonna go end this stream so I can go read up what Brendan Chung's new project is. But that sounds really cool, and I encourage you to go check out Brendan Chung's new project announcement as well, I guess. Anyway, peace out. Bye.